I was gonna be taking all the notes.
For what, though? Because I didn't even know there's a town hall till today. This is what, the RP town hall, yeah? What you guys are
Yeah.
talking about? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so why isn't Tiki running this?
Yeah, it sounds like Tiki's running it to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright,
Cool.
sick.
Fucking finally.
Hello, everybody.
Alright. We got 5 minutes. That is enough time to go
That is
hit
all.
a bowl, smoke a cigarette,
Yeah,
pop a
everybody
beer.
just get comfortable here at the stage, and we'll start.
Yeah.
Hey Chief,
Talking
I'm recording this, and I'll edit it
Everything's
down and just
better with
post
bag
it.
Just
of
kind
weed,
of
bag
cheap
of
and
weed.
darts while I'm sitting here.
Yeet.
Also, you're bouncing. Can you sit down?
I was so sad I ran out of apricot gelato, and they were out of it. I was so sad.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, I am not out of fucking apricot gelato, boys. Let's fucking go.
This isn't my flag. So no, I can't sit down. Because I can't build a chair. Oh, I can build a chair. Whose flag is this? Is this your
Well,
flag,
it's-
BSG? Is BSG in here?
From where?
The
Why is
Continental
BSG
should be
in
his
here?
flag.
This isn't the
It's
Continental's.
Jinx's flag.
Oh, it's Jinx's? How am I able to build a flag under Jinx? Very interesting. Where is BSG?
What do they got? Give me.
Not in here.
I don't know. I will message him after I get done kicking this cat's ass.
Kicking a cat's ass.
Yeah, this one cat's fucking annoying as shit.
Yeah,
Most
it's
cats
something.
are annoying as shit.
No, this cat's dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it's a cat.
Well,
Welcome everyone, we're
his
just
one
getting
brother,
situated.
perfectly fine. Bag of weed and a bag of weed. Everything's better with a bag of weed.
Hmm. Yeah. I want this.
Someone has their hand up.
Well, maybe the person with their hand up should click the button to accept. Plus, he can just let himself up here.
Okay, I added it to order.
Wasn't there a text channel to go with this?
Yeah, maybe. There used to be, at least.
No, yeah, I can't. I can't find it.
Sora, you're still falling through the map for me.
Oh, that's who that is?
Yeah. Word.
Maha. There it is. Was it archived?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the text channel is right above us, Aura. Right above the voice chat we're in.
Yeah, I know it wasn't there a second ago though.
Maybe it was locked or something. If somebody
Yeah.
else edited the permissions, but... Alright, Tiki, get up here.
Yo, is it supposed to be like awkward silence right now, or what's going? Anybody got a boombox? Want to put on some ambient music or something?
It's about to start. Sorry, y'all.
We're in Discord, by the way.
Tiki.
Yeah, we're all on Discord.
Who's playing music?
Oh me.
Whoever's wearing the blue hard hat. That's who it is.
Oh, when the fuck was I kicked down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Go ahead and make it a combo.
There you go.
Alright, I know Arcfire has a schedule to keep, so if he jumps in, he may get called up first to share his ideas, just because he has other shit going on.
Mm-hmm. I'll take notes. If you would like.
I already got a note doc open, but I mean, if you want to keep extra notes, yeah. Or anything I don't catch, because people talking, so sometimes I lag. So I guess we'll just start off with people that have, any concerns. So if you have a concern or maybe a good idea for RP, raise your hand and we'll call you up.
Welcome to the town hall. This town hall is about the RP zone in Rebellion RP universe. Scum. Raise your hand
In
if you
case,
have anything
game,
to
you're
say.
confused about the silence, we are in the Town Hall channel on the Discord. And that's where we're going to be communicating.
Yeah, I just joined it. So, because I was hoping that we would address the whole thing with the taking bolts and nails out individually, because I'm just tired of it, honestly.
No one. Oh,
I feel like it's not constitutional.
Damn, those hands are so small. They're hard.
This
to
fucking guy.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, Emily.
Hello.
Hi. So, since we're here, I just wanted to bring up that we have had some issues with some people finding the RP rules quickly and being able to understand them. Like, there have been questions and misinterpretations. I kind of want to see what some of our new players have been experiencing with that. Like, do they have questions on a particular rule that others have had interpretation issues on, or like other things like that? Because I know I spend a lot of time with you guys talking about them, as well as like getting clarifications and just checking in on things. And so I'm just curious to see if there are any other ones that like I haven't discussed with you guys before that others don't know about, like that we don't know about already, to kind of get us started off.
Yeah, one thing that we definitely will end up doing is I already started a Word doc to try and better define the rules, since there is some unclarities.
Mm-hmm.
But what people are what isn't as clear to them, I would definitely love to know, just so that way I know where to focus exactly.
Yeah, because like I know we've got the info channel, which is kind of similar to an FAQ as far as like the use and the information that's inside it. I was wondering if we'd eventually have like a full-on actual FAQ channel where it's mainly things that you guys get asked on repeat every day, with like maybe links to the posts that contain like the full rule and things like that.
Yeah. I'm almost curious if just, could that be solved in a Word doc if we just say hit everything?
Yeah, that would definitely help, because like then you could just have pretty much the TLDR rules on the Discord server and a short FAQ section that basically guides them to specific sections in the Word document.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely one thing that I know me and the committee will have to definitely all sit down for another 2-hour meeting for, clarifying and defining.
Yeah, because the overall rules, server rules as a whole are also something that does apply to, us as our peers as much as, just the RP rules. So having them all in one place for quick reference would be a good idea.
Yeah. The Discord rules will definitely be the TLDR,
Mhm.
and then I think having a Word doc to better explain everything. Plus, it helps with the character limit that Discord gets pissy about.
Yeah. The character limit is usually the worst part of it,
Yeah,
in
because
my
right
opinion.
now, the rules and how they are is actually 2 disc hooks. So
Mhm.
it's and it's maxed out at its 6,000 character limit.
Yeah.
So any additions or anything like that will have to be done under either a 3rd disc hook if things need to be just a general TLDR rule.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Motherfuck, I am lagging like hell.
What? Lag? Why would there be lag down here?
Yeah, that or my
Don't suck
PC's
that
just
hard.
like literal shitting itself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Or
like
just
we
a
have
problem.
like 20 fucking people here.
Right. This is
So
probably the most we've had in one channel.
was there anything else?
Let me double check. Is my ticket that I sent you earlier still open? Yeah, it is.
Should be.
Oh, and we do have a few instances of confusion in the global where, I mean, it's normal to forget to put the R before the radio message sometimes, but it also does tend to help. One of the things I've been enforcing in my squad for basically any time you have to use text at all is to use asterisks around like emotes and actions that you do if it's not like an actual animated emote or action. Um, double parentheses or double brackets on either side of out of character text and in character stuff, like in character spoken word that you might have to put in like local or global. I always put quotations around. So even if I forget the R for radio, you can kind of tell that I'm still in character, right?
Yeah. That's
I think that comes down to like personal preference. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but it does also make it easier for anyone who's not RPing to be able to tell, oh, this person's RPing some of the RP hostility. I shouldn't take to heart and I shouldn't take it personally, because
I also
there
feel
is
like
that issue.
if people are
bleeding.
forgetting the R in global, they'll most likely definitely forget the quotation marks and things like that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like the quotation marks is also sometimes easier for some because when you write a story, right, like you remember to like actually put the quotation marks around a character speaking, so it's a little bit more natural than putting that prefix in sometimes. And there are different ways of RPing, at least if doing it in text, right? And then as long as there's something there that enables you to tell the difference between like the general global conversation, that somebody who's not RPing might be having versus yours, which is in character. Because global does get really busy with both people who are out of character as well as in character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you proposing? Like just PPR
usual, like,
or
kind of similar to text RP habits, just bring over whatever your usual text RP habit is, whether it is that you use asterisks for, your emotes or some other sort of like detail, as well as like however you were most comfortable denoting that something is out of character, be it putting out of character in front of your text or after it or somewhere in it.
yeah, I mean that's definitely, I think if we think of it, do it. But
Yeah.
the local chat becomes so easy to just not even think about an R or any other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Oh, was
it
it?
is because like I think it's mainly global chat where it gets confusing, right? Like with that, where if you forget your R and if somebody misunderstands, right, just make sure that, you're speaking up to say, hey, this is in character. I don't mean that out of character in any way. It's nothing directly at you, sort of deal, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think I had anything else. Oh, somebody brought up the scum map as a way to like mark player businesses and public venues and things like that. That would be an interesting one to use if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
even
That's
possible for us to get. Yeah.
yeah, I believe ours is actually still active. Just it's not up
Mhm.
to date.
Okay. Yeah, because that would definitely be something easy that somebody could submit a ticket for and just say, hey, I'd like my little marker at this location and the business is called such and such, and we're open at these times, you know. And we want to make sure that it's like somebody who's actively selling a store, kind of like how we see Mischief in global chat doing a really good job of like, letting people know when he's open and things like that, as well as like, the Continental with the new marketplace that they opened up and stuff like that. It would definitely be something to help them out because right now we're mainly using the marketplace over at the Continental because it already has like a physical marker in game that people can see. Whereas, like, most of the people working there also have their own venues across the map that may be more convenient to get to in some cases,
Yeah, that's definitely something that we can work on. That might be possible.
And I think that was pretty much everything I had written down before, for the most part. Though some RP how-to videos would be fun for us to talk later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's all that you have, I'll put you back down, and whoever else can come up.
Yep. Kick me down, Captain.
Yeah, so you got something you want to say? You want to talk about something? You got any opinions? Whatever. There should just be a button that says request to speak somewhere.
And if you don't want to speak in voice, there's also the text channel that you can just above us that you can write ideas in that we can all discuss as well. I'll be back in a minute.
Wolf, there you are.
Hello.
What up, man?
Hey everybody, what they do, Ski? Hope everybody's doing good today.
Not bad.
Good. I'm over here driving, have to park right quick. But yeah, obviously I'm perceived as the bad guy and I like it, and I feel like it's too much peace going around, like all over the RP. We had spoke about maybe changing a few zones to a more hostile environment. I wonder how would everybody feel about that, and if so, what zones
Hey,
can
we
they
got a
be?
man down.
I feel like AO and ZO would be a great zone because it's in the middle of everything. And
Get a
you
man
know,
having a stroke over here.
huh?
Oh,
In game, this man's having a stroke. Somebody get this guy water.
We're getting too hot. They're probably too
Heat
hot.
stroke. Yeah. If we need water, let me get some canteens out. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just can't have players dying here.
Oh, I've got a pack
Too much
for
gear.
MREs and water. I can spawn.
Yeah, check your gear. Make sure you're not wearing too much. Down here will kill you just sitting around if you're too overdressed.
There's
Since
some
we're talking about
canteens to keep everybody hydrated.
Since we're talking about the heat real quick, can we like issue a mandatory no shirts allowed in the RP zone to combat this overwhelming heat situation?
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Already doing
yes. Strictly enforced, of course.
Ooh, there's some.
Of course, that's your take on it.
Take your jacket off, or you're gonna
Yeah,
pass out.
guys,
Maybe
I
take
roll
that
with
baklava
a very
off,
large
too.
group. You know, we're very intimidating.
Balaclava.
And we're usually, I roll with a very large group, and we're very intimidating. And we're usually around the middle zones. And you know, I've been hearing around that a lot of people are scared and things like that. And then I also hear a lot of people, they love it and they need it. Like I said, I just want to know
You're not
if we
scared
can
yet.
make the Badlands.
You're not scared yet.
The
You should be.
Badlands.
I don't understand it though. I don't understand how you can. That sounds like the PvP.
I mean, you can still RP.
Yes.
That's the situation. Be able to
Yes
RP.
and no.
still.
You can RP here.
I think I have
I-
like. Sorry to
Go
cut you
ahead.
off. Oh, I was gonna say I think I have an interpretation of what you mean on that, and it's like halfway between RP and PvP. So it's like a sector where people will expect more hostile
Exactly.
interactions without
Mm-hmm.
the KOS aspect.
Yeah,
of
I'm not
So it'll
trying to
be
kill. I'm not
just
trying
as bad
to
as the
kill
PvP sectors
anybody.
then.
I'm not trying to kill anybody realistically, but I mean, you know, like let's get into RP where obviously I'm more hostile than usual. You run into very nice people, but around here where I'm at, you might run into my guys, and you know, might run into a situation where you have to talk your way out of it. You know, not looking to go around killing everybody or robbing everybody for all their belongings and things like that. But I mean, I'm also not trying to, you know, be perceived as friendly and things like that and just be just like everyone else, you know?
Well, I mean, that's a
But
great. Yeah, this is a great conversation to have because we need to talk about how readily, easily do we want killings to happen in the RP zone? Do we what do people want to
it,
see lead up to a death? You know, do people want
people weren't even complaining more about dying because again, we're not going around killing anybody. But yeah, they're afraid of us. They're afraid of going around here because they might get robbed. They might this, they might that. But I mean, like that's, you know, that's what comes
So
around being.
bringing in a
Go ahead.
Badlands area where you cross the border, you expect
So
hostile.
I want to preface this real quick by saying we cannot change zones in between wipes.
Or declared in the sense that yeah, this area.
Somebody is living in a zone, you know, they want to live there. They've chosen that spot. I'm not going to uproot people and tell them this zone's changing its rules now. So the only time we can do zone changes is during wipes. I'm still open to discuss it for the next wipe, but it's just prefacing this would not happen until next wipe.
Yeah.
Or if they do what they did before, then they did that halfway wipe. I mean, it could be considered or rediscussed,
Well, if we make a
depending on how they
zone,
wipe.
if we make a zone a Badlands zone, are people just going to avoid it? Is my general question.
I mean,
Because
won't
people avoid.
wholly know until we try it out, I think. Because going by previous groups and things like that I've come across that I've seen in the RP zone, we get a lot of people wanting to be the bad guys and want to do hostile interactions with others, but they don't have that RP space to do so because they don't want to scare away everybody else from the RP area. So I think we could always just give it a trial run. And if it does flop, then we can discuss, you know.
There's a lot of times where I'm talking to someone who wants to role play like a drug addict that just goes on rampages that ends up killing people. I feel like their whole goal is just to kill people with extra steps and not have to like suffer the consequences they would potentially have like in a different zone, like going into the PvP zone or something like that, you know. I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I really feel like it's a way to kind of grief and take advantage of people because, oh, my character is a crazy character, he just kills people, you know. So that's why I want to talk about how readily people want to be killed, because we don't
there's
know
still
unless people
code.
speak up.
So
And there's still code that we should obviously apply for. Because I mean, if there's a crazy person going around killing people, I mean, I'm not that bad of a person. I will want to go stand up and fight, and you know, maybe go kill that person and save everybody. You know, still opportunity is kind of like Lex Luthor per se. You know, he's perceived on media and all these things, and he donates and he does all this. You know, like I'm not here to, but there's still also not like how Aura said, a space for me to like, I guess, grow in that sense.
Yeah,
So-
that's why we need to talk about other people. Like, okay, we want to make this space for people, but you know, what boundaries do you feel we need to set for that? You know, that's why I want everyone else.
What you have already is good. I'm not really asking to change anything, but I mean, there's also gonna be times where you're gonna have to be less lenient on people that go around certain areas that might find some type of bad art, you know,
Okay,
bad
1 second.
situations. Excuse me. Go ahead.
What another player has suggested? What if we just like raise the timer for how long till an interaction, you know, you can kill somebody? What if we raise that, or just allow a little more? I guess write the rules to where they cater more to the defensive people. You know, caters more, gives the victim a little more, like, you know, figure out a good area for where you can use lethal force. What if we did that?
I mean, I can only really speak from my perspective, and we really haven't put hands on people or killed anybody like that. So that would probably go with somebody who might want to be trigger happy and kill all the time. But again, I'm just want to create that RP experience, but I don't want to be the good guy, you know. I don't.
Yeah. Oh shit, there's
I
Grim.
just want to interject here for a second. Amne's written in the town hall text channel. I mean, 100% of the reason I live in the RP zone is because I expect to see RP combat, robbery, etc. But lately it's felt like it's a no-go for people to do that. Those interactions are a part of that. But it needs to be done with respectfulness and thoughtfulness, basically. In-character shit-talking needs to be taken as an RP interaction, not out-of-character hostility.
Yeah, which
that's
is
a good point.
a very, very big thing that I've noticed is like, and that comes back to kind of what I was talking about earlier, because I agree. I want Wolf to have a chance to rob me, man. Come at me, bro. I'm hoping for it. Like, it's a fun interaction. It's something that could happen. And I personally enforce on myself a perma. Like, I have enforced perma for my character, right? That's not something that's going to fly in this community. I don't think we should need it or anything like that. But we should generally encourage ourselves to RP out the consequences of the things that we do and the things that happen to us. Like, personal rule for my squad being in the RP zone: never travel out of the base alone. Like, travel in pairs, sort of deal, right?
Right.
And there is protection in that. Like, I'll even travel with people that I trust, that like my character would trust outside of our squad, just to make sure that I'm not breaking that personal rule, right? And it's very, very seldom you see my character wandering around alone unless she has a predetermined destination where she's meeting somebody there, and she goes from point A to point B, no stops. She doesn't even stop to pee. If she pees, she pees in the car, man. Like, that's how it is. And part of what I'm seeing is a lot of that sort of thing where it's like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just respawn in 20 minutes. Or other things. Like, most of what people are mostly worried about is like losing their shit. Like the stuff that they worked so hard to collect, grind, buy, whatever it was, like their money, their possessions, right? And that's also good RP. Like, wanting to keep your stuff is good RP, but it is frustrating on an out of character level to lose that stuff, right? And that's understandable, but at the same time, you can't take it out on other people. It is a game. We are role playing with each other. Some people are going to want to be the villains, and that keeps it interesting, right? Because
You on your toes.
before this wipe, we had a lot of people, some of them being some of the people I've heard complain about, the robberies and the hostilities, that were complaining previously about it being boring. There's nothing for us to do. And it's not like we can expect the admins to run events every single day. That would be ridiculous. That would be
Oh my
unfair
God.
on
It's
the staff.
exhausting
That
just
would be
running one or two on a
impossible.
weekend.
I
Yeah,
expect events every day.
exactly. Exactly. It would be impossible. And then on top of that, I expect the admins to want some time to play for themselves as well as players. If you find out that an admin is a player, you shouldn't change how you would treat them.
Oh,
You know,
definitely not.
don't change how you would treat them.
Oh,
That ruins
jeez.
their experience as well as your own
Yeah,
experience,
fuck you,
right?
Sor.
How are we handling people with their hands up? Because clearly Grim really has something to say because he keeps flashing his and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want to let
I
I
think
don't want to let
Jack
too
was
many people up
next.
here, and right, Jack is
Yeah.
next, but I'm just saying I don't want to let too many people up here at once and it become
Yeah.
too chaotic. So
All right. Well, let's put YouTube back down and let some other
Yeah, I'm good.
people talk. And
But again,
We can always circle back.
I just
Yep.
want to create a real enjoyable experience, and you need to have the protagonist antagonist factor in all things, you know. And I'm seeing this from like a movie perspective, like you know, for you guys to have more fun, I'm willing to be that guy to create, to take the faults and do the blames, I guess. But it'll make it so much more fun for everyone else. That's all I really want to create.
All right, man.
But thanks, guys.
Yep.
Jack, you're up.
Well, welcome, Jack.
Thank you. Can you hear me? All right, I
Yep.
got like
Yes,
5
we
minutes before I got to go out to the bar and get shit faced. Listen.
Oh, okay.
So, I think that a big thing that you can do is outside of faction, outside of all that, I think you need to create groupings. All right. An example is, for instance, okay, bring up the other RP server I'm in, right? There's civilian, there's pirate, and there's navy, right? No matter what you are, no matter what group you're in, no matter what you do, you fall into one of those three categories. Those three categories have their own rule set about how each can interact with each other. All right. So, for example, civilians, they can't just openly attack people, right? Pirates, they could attack whoever the fuck they want. And if Navy and versus pirates, they could kind of attack each other on sight, right? The RP zones to be filled with a lot of people that have a lot of different identities, and the server identity seems to be falling under passiveness. People not wanting to really, there's people that want to like fight, but they kind of get shit on it for it, right? Because there's people that want to be passive. I think you need to have people fall into these groups. Like, let's say, like me, my solo squad, right? Like Wolf Squad, for instance, would definitely be an aggressive one, right? So maybe you'd give them bandits or something like that, and bandits would have their set on RP rules about how they interact with the civilian group. So let's say, like Tiki said before, let's say one of the bandits robs a civilian. The civilian can't be robbed again for 5 hours. And when it comes to like bandits can be a little less value of life rule-y, you know what I mean? Because a big thing about being an aggressive person in RP is what really kills them is the value of your life stuff, right? And the setting is a prison, right? These guys won't really value their life much, all right? Maybe they're lunatics. They got to be allowed to do that. So by having them in their own set rule groups to follow, it would really ease up on you guys with like what's correct and incorrect in an interaction. And it gives you the ability to create rule sets for certain play styles. You understand?
Yeah.
So are you
So,
saying
like,
do more of like a vetting process that, you know, if you want to
No.
be a bad guy, hey, you know, talk to us so we can make sure that you know
it's
the rules
it's
and
as
how to do
easy
it?
as having a role on Discord, right? And like if like okay, let's say like I wanna
We'll have civilian, bandit, and peacekeeper force kind of thing.
yeah, like let's say like we have an enforcer group, right? Like a police kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I want to do that, right? So my rules as a police officer would be I would have certain limitations and interactions with civilians. You know what I'm saying? That would you'd have a rule set based around like, you know, you can't openly attack civilian, right? And be aggressive towards civilian. And then you'd have, but I'd also have rules saying I could be aggressive with bandits, and I have a little more freedom to be more aggressive without severe server consequences, right? Because the big thing is like having RP consequences, great. Server
I'm sorry, I'm
consequences
busy. I'm doing something right
really
now.
kills,
It's
you
the
know,
middle
people
of a
that
town
like
hall
Wolf that
meeting,
want to
babe.
be aggressive and like a villain, right? And then it
Poopy,
gives
I love you. Go get
Wolf
your
the
food.
ability, like if I
Oh
was
my
an
God,
enforcer,
pants
to
are
have a
done.
little more aggressive RP with someone like me. And it protects your civilians who have gear fear.
How do you distinguish between who is who?
That's something we'd have to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But like in
I got this
the
cool down.
RP server that I play in, like the pirates have a black sail on their ship, the Navy has a blue sail on their ship, and the civilians had a white sail, right?
We could
So we'd
designate
have
something they wear.
right, like we'd have to like think about something that could be obvious, that could separate. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like there's several different camo types in the game, right? Like the blue pattern, the solid green. You know what I'm saying? There's something that we don't have to
Yeah, but
force
I
these
don't.
people to. What if you?
Well, I was just gonna say just that. Like, well, I wouldn't want to have to wear something I don't want to wear. You know, like I spend a lot of time dressing my character up. You know.
I got you, but like I said, this is. I'm not going to have the whole layout of how this is going to work immediately. It's an idea that would,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
it'll protect
I
those
quite
that
like
want to
that
be
idea.
protected.
Roles. Just roles that
Exactly.
you would form when you go into the RP zone. You go in. You designate a role that you want for yourself. So it'd be a civilian, a
I love
peacekeeper,
you.
or a bandit, and
I
then
think that
those
everybody
you
would be a
operate under those
civilian,
rules
but
specifically in the
So
RP zone.
what about something I'm really liking what you're saying, and what I'm taking from it would be I kind of just came up with a small little shell of a lore now, and that would be kind of using our server name as the Rebellion. What if we had the civilians, some kind of like oppressive military force, and then a rebellion force?
that'd be
And
fantastic. But the
that
biggest
would keep the civilians mostly safe for people that wanted the light core roleplay, and because the military never really like straight up attacks them unless they're being, you know, argumentative, but maybe they're shaking them down for some protection money once in a while or something like that. They got checkpoints set up. Meanwhile, people that actually want to straight up battle, they can join the military or the rebels, and those two can battle each other.
Exactly. Like, and the thing is, you have this overall rule set that everybody has to follow in the RP zone, and then you have more curtailed rule sets for these people in certain groups. That way, that, like I said, Wolf can be aggressive, other people can be aggressive, and other people can be defended. Because some people are going to be passive no matter how you look at it. You know, their
Right.
gear fear is a thing. You know.
You could have like some scavengers or something like that. A couple like an extra smaller faction that is just straight up enemy, no matter which way you look at it, to everybody or something like that.
And I think another thing for consequences in the server, if you do break rules, you should have to pay out a certain amount of money. That should alleviate some of the people losing stuff fear. You know what I mean? Let's say you get KOS or something like that. You got to pay 10 grand to the guy,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
Just the town hall text channel. Logan says, how readily can people change their roles? Permanent for a given character without a reroll, or just switch on the fly if they want to? Like, can they be a civilian and have something happen to them and they'd be like, no, I want to become a bandit and fight for, you know?
Well, then
Yeah,
I
I
guess you got to
think-
go meet up with some bandits and go get yourself
Yeah.
recruited.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe they look at your history
It's all
and they
done
don't
in
like that
RP.
you've been with every other faction or something, and they turn you down, and then you have to
Yeah.
permadeath your character to start over. But yeah, I mean, the goal would be that you could move around as long as you RP through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the other server, I played a pirate all the time, but I kind of like I told people I had a different name and booted myself off as a civilian so I could sell stuff to the Navy. You understand?
Ooh.
It's whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? It's just for the conflict part, which a
that's
lot of
good
people have
idea,
issues
Jeb.
with. Yeah, the conflict
um,
part is where this server is having a lot of issues,
Mhm.
and a lot of people are getting upset with it. I think that having select rules for certain play styles is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeb's just come up with a really good idea. Would admins be able to change someone's name in game to reflect civilian, like have a C character, bandit,
Yeah.
have a B character, police military
that-
key, and something like that?
That could be tied
Yeah.
in with a
Mhm.
bot to where you just click a button of the faction you wish to join, runs the command to change in-game name.
The only
Yeah.
problem with that though is you can't see in-game names with each other.
Yeah, but
No,
if
but when
you
you're
talk in,
typing,
like,
then you
yeah,
know.
type in
Yeah.
local chat and stuff like that, you know, you'll announce yourself and it'll show
You know,
up
if somebody demands ID, you know, then that would be your typing would kind of be like giving up your ID, right?
Yeah, it would just be
you
like
could
hit
also
space
add
bar.
like a medical. Well, you'd have like medical in subfactions type things, like the thing.
Right.
You can have
Medical,
anything
like
you
civilian
want.
medical. Yeah. You could,
It's
Oh,
just
I don't know if it was brought up yet, but the player card idea that. So, when you create a character, you get a player card at the end of like the confirmation screen. And I was thinking about putting that or taking that and blanking out a couple lines so you can fill it in yourself. So like the name, the crime, the age, and a couple of the stats, and just to get you a little more attached to your characters as well.
Yeah, we could set up a Discord channel to where, you know, you post your card and then it stays there and we keep out the chit chat.
Yeah.
Let's
We could
bring
also
some more people up.
What if
yeah.
someone's able
I got to
to-
run to the bar now, so good luck,
All right,
everybody.
Jack, we appreciate you, man.
All right,
Talk
Sam.
about it, figure it
Thank
out.
you.
I'm always around. Hit me up.
All right.
Thank you.
So JD's up next, but was somebody saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one simple question. With one person having multiple identities, what if someone is able to distinguish it's both, however many identities? You know, if it's their undercover identity, what if someone uncovers that secret identity? That's all I'm wondering. Or can that not be applied unless their names have been switched?
I feel that you can, if someone demands your ID, you can't really deny that. Like, so you'd have to type in chat, but you can go by whatever name you want, unless we're trying to keep the no impersonation rule.
Mhm.
I mean, as long
I
as
don't
you're not
know.
impersonating somebody else,
Well,
you know,
what
it's all right.
What I mean is,
Okay.
let's say a character has their normal character, right? Is just their name is White, right? And when they go bandit or evil, whatever you want to call it, they go their name changed to Black. What if I discover that White is secretly Black? How do I proceed with that? Do I just have to ignore that fact,
Oh,
or can
double
it be like,
agents.
yeah,
I think that's still RP. That's all discovered
Well,
in RP, so it'd be RP, wouldn't it?
If
You
it's
deal with that however
stuck
you
in
want
the
to.
Discord, I mean, would it show on like their player card, like whenever they first submit it?
Mm.
Were you asking
Well, I
that
think when
you
Tyler's
want a
talking about
feature that
somebody going
doesn't
by
exist?
alias in game.
yeah.
So like
yeah,
how
by
Jack
alias.
said he was like he's a pirate and he goes by Jack, but then in town he just calls himself say Sally, just so he's not known as Jack. But if somebody ever read a player card on him, they would see he's Jack. So he's never changing his actual character identity. He's just using an alias so no one knows who he is at that moment. And if someone, so it's like wearing a mask. So if you discover who's behind the mask, you have you're more than able to go after that person, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think he should be able to play out in RP rules because, like, he's going by an alias. He's not actually changing his character name. He's just using alias so he's not caught at this moment. And if you can catch him, that's on you. That's all RP.
I just didn't know if we wanted to make them completely separate, or if we wanted to have some kind of role play scenario. Like, hey, you sound really familiar. Like, are you are you sure this isn't you? Kind of a deal. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
That's all RP.
I just didn't know if people felt like if they switched back to their neutral character, if their hands were clean of everything their other character did.
No, because you're not. There's not multiple characters. There's no
Just a
multiple
single character
character
with an
system
alias.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that is all.
I mean, if someone's playing an alt, that's a different story, obviously.
Here.
That should be a
Just
clean
getting
slate. And
too in depth on something that doesn't.
Yo.
All right, what's going on, JD?
Yeah, man. I think I like what Wolf was talking about, man. I mean, even though I'm built into PvE, I'm just trying to get my money right so I could be able to buy kits through the Discord, and get back in the fight. But after reading the RP rules, it seems a bit almost unenforceable. I mean, like, there's how it's so detailed and it's so specific, and on a game where, like any other free roam game, the beauty of it all is the freedom. So
This
I
is an
think,
RP server, though. It's not just freedom server. I mean, with RP comes rules, and with any other RP server, they actually have like manuals that you have to read.
the
Yeah,
last
no.
RP server I played on this had 15 pages to read.
Yeah, this
Right.
one's
15
pretty
pages.
tame compared to some other ones.
Jesus, that's probably why they're pop so low. But
Well, no, I don't mean in Scum in general. I just mean RP in general. Like role playing on any game, it comes with a lot of rules and shit.
yeah, I was gonna speak on the
our-
zones, but I heard someone say that you can't change the
Exactly.
zones until force.
Yeah, and our rules are honestly very, very short. Like I'm making a word doc because I'm out of room. To where say you want to play a bad guy, I want you to be able to go to it and read up on the specific roles that you'll be acting around. And
I don't understand how it would be sustainable to designate a characteristic to each player. You know what I mean? And how other players will be able to distinguish between each other, like I heard someone say. I mean,
Everyone would basically start out as a civ, the way that I would envision it, and then from there you could join a faction, and each faction should have something defining about them, right? Like they always drive fully armored this car, and they all wear like the same uniform or something.
yeah, probably just do a Wally pack.
Especially if you're like military, right? They should all look the same, you know.
yeah, I think what would be nice is the idea of no KOS. I think that the repercussions for KOS should be, a swift response, but not as much as it being like violating the server rules, but more of a actual role play response where when you kill someone on site, then you get other players that they rain down on you like a military or a police response.
Yeah, I
Because
mean that's more player driven. That's if they want to do that. I mean, but that's the beauty of how our RP is set up is it's free enough that you can do that. Like, say you're a bad guy, and there's 15 of you, and the military kills one of your guys. You all can go after him.
I just don't I don't see how these interactions in the RP are how they're going down. I mean, in my opinion, after playing other servers, regular servers, it's if you approach another player and you have an interaction with them, there's an element of surprise and preparedness that has been eliminated from the experience of PvP, and it just turns into more like a Street Fighter sort of thing where you're like, it's like a face off or like some old Western dueling type stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like you guys take 10 spaces in turn. rather
I
than
mean,
when you're in a zone and you know that there might be someone sniping or there might be someone lurking in a hallway
well,
and you're
at
more
that
cautious.
point, that just becomes a PvP zone at that point. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a interaction time limit that if you go 15 seconds, the interaction can become physical. Like that's already put in place.
Yeah, it's just those PvP zones they're way up there and they're so dead. It's like it would almost be nice if the PvP zones were, and again, I'm talking about something that's probably irrelevant since it's not forced, but if like the entire B section was all PvP, and even though you might be PvE or RP, you'd have to cross PvP to get to the upper half of the map, and that's just a risk,
Yeah.
This server is primarily a PvE server, though, or a lot of players on the server, a good majority of them, are just strictly PvE, and they come to this server for that. So doing something like that would make it so that they wouldn't want to play here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the
Oh,
Badlands
okay.
idea
Well,
would
yeah.
help with that and help kind of fix that. The Badlands idea, and with how Sor explained it,
Did I?
that
Is
sounds
that?
like
Are
it
you?
would fit
You know,
for
I
that.
get it. I get it. You have to, appeal to your core audience, I guess. So
With
I
with
guess.
Yeah, yeah,
something.
but I mean, we still want the RP zone to be fun for both bad guys and good guys. But I think we kind of want to also make it to where the good guys that literally never kill nobody, they don't want to fucking die. They're serious about that. We need to. I feel like we haven't catered to them enough.
Oh, was something you said earlier, Tiki, about if someone was killed, you could, send your military group and rain hell down upon them. Was that? Am I getting that right?
Oh, the droids?
Not the droids. What I thought you were saying is that if there's like someone that was killed, that other people could then attack them, right?
Yeah, I mean, if a
Yeah.
group of civilians are all just, say they
Yeah.
live in a town, they're just neighbors, and
Yeah.
they see
Is that?
one of their members die, I mean,
Well, yeah, that's
we
what I
could
was
still
saying.
play that.
It has to be seen by other people because if it's a lone person by themselves, well, there's nothing that can happen from that. It's a
Oh,
lone
well,
person that died by themselves. So that's
we've
why
always
I kind of
allowed the
want to
kill
talk.
feed to be used.
Yeah, well, I think that it would be nice if like there was a scenario where like going back to these designations on different groups, if you were designated as a police officer or a part of the military, maybe you get like a free teleport and maybe like a free weapon to be able to respond quickly to an area where there's like a bad guy who committed some atrocity, and you can, I guess, apply for that via Discord to be a part of that response team. Get a free teleport
We
action.
gotta work it out still. I mean,
Yeah, that's all, nitty gritty, more fine detail.
Right.
It
yeah,
was still
we
kind of
gotta.
a general
We
idea.
can once we can get some stuff down and start working on it, then we can have some more meetings and get down some of the more finer details. So, all right, we got 4 people with their hands up. Anything else we can entertain, JD?
No, I'm done, man. I appreciate the time.
Dude, I appreciate you more. Thanks for coming up and sharing with us what you had to say, dude.
Love you, man.
If you want to come up again, put your hand up again. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, Marilyn, am I saying that right? Marilyn Reed, correct me if I'm wrong. It's your turn, though.
No, you got it right. You got it right.
Sick.
Hello, all. I didn't really have a suggestion. This is more a question to a post that I had seen, I believe, on the RP bulletin about some kind of cloning area to help more enforce the 20-minute rule after engaging the
Yeah.
death in the RP zone. I was just curious, you know, how it is that's going to come about, because I really quite like it, because you know, at the beginning when I first joined this server, I had an incident where I had gone against that rule, and you know, it having that interaction, you know, enforced how it is that I'm supposed to accurately RP my future scenarios. And I feel like this cloning area is going to be a really good, you know, funnel for newer players trying to get into the RP.
Yeah, so we came into a flaw with that. It was working pretty great. We ran into a problem with it, though, being that if somebody gets killed and then revived, they get sent to the station anyways, and there's no way we can check for that. There's no way I can get the bot to check for that. There's no logs about that from the server, so we kind of shut it off for now and should probably take out any verbiage about it from the RP stuff for now. But the only other thing is if, you know, we just decided, screw it, there's no getting revived in the RP sector.
That would kind of render the Phoenix tiers useless.
In the RP sector, right? I mean, you could still use it to heal yourself. It would just disable the other fancy feature of it, which is resurrecting people.
Yeah.
So for right now, that's why we chose to shut it off for now. This meeting would be a good place to get opinions on that, though.
With the Phoenix tiers being useless in the RP zone, it would make value of life a lot more important too.
Yeah, because you can't use those as a trump card hiding in your pocket.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is true.
And I mean, if you get killed by zombies, you can still use them. It's just from another player.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, because that's the only time the bot would teleport you, correct?
Right. It was only as if you get killed by another player. If it's a zombie, you can get right back in the action. We don't really have rules for environment kills and hopping back in the action. It just happens.
I'd like to see that the current bot system initiated. I think that if a player kills another player, I don't think there should be a magic item that revives them. I think that's just one and done. That's my
it should bring more consequence of having died in an RP interaction.
Yeah,
this would be a good place to get a vote for it, though.
I'd like some other opinions too. If anybody feels opposite or feels strongly the same, please put your hand up and give us your opinion, or type in one of the chats or in local here or something. But yeah, all right. I figured everyone would be mad if they couldn't revive. I don't know, but I guess, you know,
I think it's a cool interaction for the RP zones. It makes you really think about what you're doing and how you want to interact with another person.
That was kind of the point, right? Value your life a little bit more because you're getting a 20-minute timeout if you die.
And
no more boxing shenanigans.
It would also prevent the, you know, quote-unquote victim in the interaction from acting recklessly, knowing that their squad mate has one on them.
It gives you 20 minutes to cool down too, right?
Amni had a good idea too. Had the medics, which you're...
my squad are the medics,
what if you guys build up there by the hospital, so that way whenever somebody died and got sent there, then you guys would literally be fed interactions to, you know, heal them up and get them better for their time.
That would be cool. The hospital doesn't really leave much to be desired because it's absolutely flooded with puppets most of the time. Could that be a thing that we move here to the Continental? Like a set spot, like if you die by a PvP interaction in the RP zone, you're going to come here to the RP hub and spend your 20 minutes, you know, recuperating yourself, as it were.
Yeah, it could. I mean, we could set the spawn point into like a bathroom, and you know, they spawn in there, and then they walk out, and you guys can kind of be right there to help them.
May I say something about this real quick?
Like 40 minutes prior to this meeting, I had finished building my building by the Continental.
I feel bad for you too because you keep on having to move. I'm sorry about that.
These things happen. I've gotten over myself.
Yeah. Just if we are going to implement this, Soar, can we make it so that admins have a command to turn off the regeneration for a specific player at that time, or no?
Why?
Because for the events, events.
Probably could.
Because you really have to do something. If we turn on this regeneration idea, your event, it's going to mess with your events. Because boxing.
That is true. Like the fighting events,
We just got some of them back.
unless you hold them outside of the RP zone.
Okay, so you're not going to get teleported to that spot unless you respawn. For my boxing events, I revive everyone with a Phoenix tier.
Yeah, but then
So
if the
that will
regeneration
get
thing
around
goes
that.
off,
That's
no.
But like, what
No.
about the maze events when you're killed by a player and you have to, like last night, we would have to respawn
that was
random
under
and then
PvP.
exit back to the event.
So
Okay, so that would, that
Yeah.
falls under a different boundary.
Yeah, we're talking
Okay.
only RP.
Yeah, but then your box events are in the RP zone. So if another player kills another player in the RP zone, that player automatically gets teleported to the regeneration zone. No questions asked, and you
Can an
cannot Phoenix tier
admin-
them.
Can an admin teleport them back to the event?
But then they
That
get
would be the
teleported
end
after
of it.
20
If
minutes.
it's
The 20-minute thing after they get popped out is the problem at that point.
well, if it's one of my events, then I should be able to teleport them back to me. It being
You're
an
gonna have to do
event
it.
and all. Yeah.
You're gonna have to
I'll have
teleport
to do
everyone
it
twice, just letting you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
twice.
we'll have something set up for it. No worries.
We'll figure
Moving
something
on.
out, yeah.
Put it in there in place in your mind that something is going to happen with Wars events
No.
with this if you put it in
Yeah.
place.
Darylyn,
fine.
anything else? Darylyn.
Hag, Marilyn, you there?
I'm sorry. Say again. I was
Anything-
being spoken to outside.
Anything else?
No, that was the point that I wanted to touch on, and it brought about some pretty good ideas.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. Alrighty, up next is supposed to be Grim.
Grim.
You leave, Grim? Oh, looks like he's not even in here now.
Yep.
Alrighty, I guess
Dasha.
Dasha it is. Oh, Amni did just put her hand down too. Goofy. Okay.
Hey,
Welcome,
so I had
Dasha.
a question. So my question is about the whole kill feed thing. I feel like that really takes away from the role play because anybody can know exactly who killed who at any time. And so there's no point in like hiding your face or wearing a mask or trying to change your voice, I feel like it's just something that's really taken away by that because then it just instantly everybody knows like, okay, this person did this, let's go find them. I think it's kind of an issue, and if you still want to keep it around as a thing, I know they were talking about the whole factions having something unique about them. Well, maybe only the peacekeepers could know about the kill feed or something like that. And they could be like, okay, this happened. This is like a 911 call type of situation. They go and show up, blah blah blah, things like that. That was just my question.
That could be something.
Yeah, that was just all I was wondering about.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard because the kill feed is so blatant for people just to ignore it.
Ignore
I think that's the
there
biggest
is going to be
problem.
some.
That's
some
why
rules that-
having
How many
the
times
ability,
we have to enforce it?
yeah, but having the ability to change your name gives you a little bit of a different identity, right? So there is that you can kind of look, get towards,
Yeah.
There's gonna be no ability for people to freely change their name. You're asking for too many problems with that.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do a Wally bot setup or something.
No, I never said that.
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood.
I think somebody else mentioned something about it, but yeah, it's if we allow people to just change their names whenever, we're really asking for problems with impersonation and trolls. So
Yeah, it becomes like with the kill feed, it becomes really hard to kind of ignore it, and there is going to
we
be
could turn the
some
kill feed off. Fuck it.
We could.
I don't want to let people change their names.
Yeah.
An admin's got to keep up because it changes on all of our logs and stuff too. I mean, granted, the IDs don't, but I'm not going to memorize a 36 character or 36 character ID.
I think it's got to be turned off as a whole over the entire server, not just in one zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, some just
For
asking.
now. For now.
For now.
I wish Backstep was in here. He's not, but we're working on some new stuff, so
Okay. That'll be cool.
He was up here.
we could turn off Wallybot's. We could turn off Wallybot's kill feed. Implement our own kill feed that ignores the PvP kills.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that
So
would be
that's
a
a good
really
idea.
fun idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if some like a
So
rule break, like somebody does get KOS by somebody who's like not following the rules and stuff, obviously you can always make a ticket and just show them the proof, like, hey, this is what happened. Guy is new. They weren't following the rules. Here's exactly what happened. So there's,
right.
yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. We'll work on that.
Cool.
Appreciate your opinion on that one, Dasha. What else you got for us?
Well, that was all. Thank you.
Alrighty. Who's next? I seen Amni. You had your hand up. Then it went down. Ninja. Let's go.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
So first things first, I'm very new to this server. I've only been here a couple of days, so this is all from an outside perspective. But I'd like to just a couple of things. What Wolf was saying earlier about a zone dedicated to being like a Badlands. One of the servers I played on previously basically said if a squad could hold a zone, it was theirs, and they could do what they would in it. So you might consider something like that, if like, because he does run a bigger squad. If they do manage to take a zone and hold it, keep it to themselves, they can make the rules in it up to to an extent.
So
That
yeah,
sounds like something that would more have to happen in the PvP area.
One thing that another player had brought up is have, say two parties get pissed off enough, they want to go at war, set up a war area, and then drop a zone around it and just, announce it. And the squads will be at this place at this time and have an all out faction war between, two castles or whatever. And then treat it as capture the flag to where they have an item and you have to go in, get that item, and take it back to your base. And once an admin confirms it, then it's ceasefire, and then whichever party would win.
Right. And then the second one was the identification of like different factions, different groups of people. I ran across a squad one on that last server that they all wore the white Reaper skull masks, and that was their identifying mark. So something like a mask, like a specific mask. Like when before the server reset, I noticed a lot of guys wearing the night helmets. They were obviously probably all part of the same squad. So like something I easily identified, like a mask or a specific hat or something like that.
That's for the squad, and that's for something.
This is kind of what I'm thinking with the faction stuff that we're talking here with RP factions. I think we should, this is my opinion, I think we could do this as soon as we have the framework set up for it. Kind of restart on the factions, come up with our quick base factions. So everybody's a civ, right? Unless you've joined a faction, you're a civilian. And we start out with a couple of them that are maybe admin led, or the people that want to lead them that are here already, that are known in the RP community already. We can get some like the military and the rebellion going, and then we have a list of the factions, and each faction will state their name, a quick brief thing about them, quick backstory, not 10 pages, a very quick backstory, an identifying mark, and then it'll say who they're friendly with, who they're neutral with, and who they're enemies with. And when you want to make a faction, you have to apply with all of that info. You have to say okay, each one of these factions, I'm going to be friendly with them. These are going to be my enemies. These are be neutrals. And you have to have your backstory, and you apply with a faction. We let you in, and then from there you can run a faction.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good way to do
Yeah, I
it.
like that quite a bit.
But you have to basically spell out how your interactions are going to go with the other factions. And then every time a new faction comes in, they have to do the same for you. They have to explain how their interactions would work with you based on your backstory. If your backstory says, we simply do not like anybody, then people who come in with a new faction go, okay, yeah, they're enemies.
Okay.
So, and then even still, though, let's say it was a faction that their goal was to spread peace, they could put everybody on friendly. You know, they could say they treat everybody as friendlies, and you know, if they get a gun put to their head, they'll go down to their knees. I don't know. So I think that would be fun. Opinions? No? Yes?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I really like the faction idea because it'll help to separate a lot and give those people who just they don't want the violence and shit, give them a place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Like it's gonna be sort of the same as how we have them now, but they're just going to be more in depth with the interactions between factions, I think.
Yeah.
Then it might feel weird, but what about kind of like scheduled things? Like if you want to, the rebels want to attack the military, like maybe schedule it so both teams are completely aware it's happening. I know that's kind of meta, but.
Yeah, but I mean, it promotes a lot more fun that way, and that's what kind of the one player had as an idea was, us build basically a battlegrounds where two factions can go and duke it out.
Not even just make it known, like these factions war, and like once in a while, one faction can opt to want to attack you right at your base or something,
Mm-hmm. And we could announce it like faction war going on in A0.
And then let's say one faction wants to. This is something I really want to figure out how we can make this work. It's been brought up before, something that somebody wanted to do, and I'd hate to take it away because honestly, it sounds like a fucking blast to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would we? You don't even know what I'm going to say yet. You're already agreeing with me. I love you, Tiki.
I was agreeing to your last thing, fucker.
Oh, okay. Well, this next thing I think would be a blast. It's just I haven't been able to figure out how we can like allow it without pissing off too many people or restricting too much access, and that would be like the whole if you wanted to put up a roadblock in the middle of a bridge and harass people to pay some kind of toll or protection or something to get through. Like, hey, this isn't a safe bridge. You might want to pay me, to cross this bridge safely. I'll make sure you get across safe. I'll escort you, and just have some fun with it. I think it sounds like a lot of fun, but how do we do that in a way that do we schedule things out like that still?
I mean, we can.
I think there could be time frames where the bridge can be controlled.
Because there's going to be people who want that interaction. Fuck, if I know somebody's running the bridge, I'm going to go.
And we just also like for stuff like that, we could also just make it when the lights go down, because in the military, that's how it kind of is run.
Yeah.
Like when wartime is actually like during the day, people get their stuff done.
I like that.
And then at night, you fucking lock up because that's curfew, and if you're out at night, you shot. So that's when the fuckery goes down, is at night.
Wolf, put your hand up for me. Or actually right click, invite to speak. I want you up here real quick, Wolf. How does that sound to you? Like a nighttime thing? Like maybe the whole RP zone itself gets a little bit sketchier at night, and that's just kind of the known thing.
Like hostilities happen at night, and during the daytime, keep it kind of peaceful. If an argument happens or something, it happens, but during the day, keep it somewhat peaceful. When the lights go out, fuck around.
Oh, yeah. Everyone in the town hall text chat is loving the idea.
No, straight up. I see a person at 300 yards, dome them kind of shit, but hooligan
and everything. But you go start trying to be a robber or a bandit or whatever. Do it at night. Make sure you're like if you're gonna roam around at night, make sure you're fucking safe. That's how it is in the real world.
I mean, it definitely gives us more room to play with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would also encourage people to find safe zones to like hide out if they're caught out at night. So like places like the Continental would be more prominent to be used because it is a safe zone.
Yeah, I mean that'll help convey the fear and that somewhat paranoia for those players. That'll help. That's my main objective, Like I know we all need to have that risk factor, like it's part of the survival aspect of things,
Boring without it.
Exactly. So I mean that's just a plus in general. Like that's just a plus. I think it helps. Yes, it does. I would definitely want to say no to that.
I'm thinking that idea is a good idea because that's how it works in
Yeah.
wartime.
I mean, if we're making progress, that's what I see. You know, I still would like to see a little bit more, but you know, I do also understand from you guys' perspective. So anything helps.
No, I like the idea. Definitely like, during the day, no killing and shit like that. But at night, then we can activate more of that. Hey, have 15-second interaction before you become violent. As long as it doesn't go straight to killing. I mean, we want to try and avoid guns if possible.
Yeah.
But still have fun and be able to maim somebody.
Now, with this, I think some of us probably know our nighttime is shortened a bit. Do we maybe lengthen our nighttime out a little bit longer to be more even, or?
I think
Nah,
keeping
I
it
don't
where it
need all that.
is
Yeah, I
good.
think it's
we have a
perfect
short